Hello, committee members, members of council, city staff, and members of the public. Alex Hamilton, your fire chief. And before us today, we have the upfitting of 8 battalion chief command vehicles. So the recommendation is that the Finance and Governance Committee recommend that City Council approve and authorise the purchase order in the amount of $1,053,108 for the upfitting of 8 battalion chief command vehicle chassis by 911 vehicles through the National Auto Fleet Group. And so just as a little bit of background, there was in actually last year's budget, 21-22 budget, approved the purchase of these vehicles to replace 2 frontline battalion chief vehicles that will be reassigned within the department, replace a fire marshal vehicle, a 10-year-old training chief vehicle, replace a BC response vehicle that was involved in a crash and removed from service. And then we're actually enhancing the fleet by 3 vehicles with the addition of 3 BCs in this budget year. So a little bit further background, we originally had a purchase order for an original vendor, which is Stonewell Bodies, that was coming before committee and council. It was actually scheduled to go to council on July 28th. Due to the busy agenda we had, the item was bumped to September, allowing that purchase order, the quote, to expire. Stonewell then in turn tried to impose a new price increase to the point where I had to make the difficult decision to decide to end that agreement and look for a different, more cost-effective proposal. So this is where we've now taken a new direction, and so we're looking at 911 vehicles. Was chosen as the new vendor using a Sourcewell cooperative pricing through National Auto Fleet Group, as opposed to Stonewell Bodies. I know they're very similar names. So the 8 F350 chassis will be outfitted by 911 vehicles through the National Auto Fleet Group using that Sourcewell cooperative agreement. The cost of the upfitting is just over $1,050,000, and that price still represents a savings from if we had used Stonewell, the original vendor, because that price, basically those vehicles will come back turnkey and ready to be put into service immediately. So there's no additional costs once they come back from 911. The fiscal impact, as you can see there, we originally allocated $960,000 for the acquisition and upfitting of these vehicles. Unfortunately, the project has exceeded the funded budget by just over $500,000. And so inflation has had a significant impact on that number. So the fire department will use some of the administrative fee we receive from wildland reimbursement funds to help offset the first year of the annual unfunded lease deficit, and annual payments for the vehicles and upfitting under the lease purchase will be included in future annual budget requests. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that committee or council might have. Thank you.